Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Ayoto Corporation video. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Garrison Archangel, which is a pretty cool mech fighting game that got through Steam Greenlight when it was still available last year, or last month, and I'm just found out about it from a podcast I was listening to. Now, the game is basically very reminiscent of Virtual On or Armored Core, like I guess the newer ones, because it's far too fast-paced for the older ones. Currently, it's only an alpha, like early alpha version, but you can download it for free from the website, which we'll have a link down below in the description for that. So, there's only two modes, really. There's the arcade mode, which is your standard fight things in an arena, just constant new battles. And custom game, which is if you just want to do a one-on-one in a specific stage. So they have I mean, I guess it's supposed to have a couple maps, but it looks like they only have the one map. You can also change out things. There's only one game mode, which is just fight until the enemy dies, and of course you can change your music around. Now, like any good mech game, it has a garage, where you can go in and it gives you a couple presets of mechs and the ability to make your own mech. So all the mechs can be changed around. You have just different parts. You can change out the weapons. There's tons of weapons and all of them have second functions, which is pretty cool. There's body parts you can swap out to give you different values, armor, energy use, whatever. And of course, you can color and rename your mech as you want. Now, like I said, the weapons all have second functions, so let me show you what that entails in this test room versus a dummy. Skip that. So, right here I'm equipped with my big old tower shield and a lance. But, with the push of a button, my tower shield can be used to bash my enemy, throw him off balance, and my lance turns into this weird pointed hammer thing. I don't really know what that's supposed to be. Now, the way the game actually functions, if you've played... This is why I say it's more like Armored Core. If you played that, it has the same sort of style in combat. You can dash forward, you can dash around like this, to sort of get past your opponent. You can even fly up in the air. And attacking them is mostly melee-based. There are ranged weapons and guns in the game, but that's not the real focus. So you can attack just normally, they do that, but if I move towards my opponent, I get a different attack. I work around the side, I get a different attack. And if I move backwards, I get a different attack, which in this case transforms me into my scythe, or my lance. So I can combo things like this, and then I just jam forward on them. So that's pretty cool. And of course I have like shoulder and back mounted weapons, which in my case are a Gatling gun and a missile launcher, which kind of failed over there, but you can see that they're recharging on the side. So that's how most of the things work. It's not ammo-based, really. It's energy-based to a certain extent. There are things that have, like, clips, but you can recharge them. Now, one of the problems is that because the game is so fast-paced, a lot of the time it gets hard to keep track of what's going on. Unlike, say, Virtual On, which is also fast-paced, it's cleaner. Everything's at sort of a larger distance, so you can see what's going on. It's a nice, clean arena. I mean, this is too, but for that one, it makes everything sort of stand out better. And most importantly, it doesn't have giant particles everywhere, which make it really hard to tell what's going on. So in that case, what I did is I just did a sideways dash. But the particles take up like 50 to 90% of the screen, which makes it really hard to tell what's going on, especially if the opponent is doing the exact same thing. So let me actually show you that. So I'm just going to start up another match with a normal AI in a second, and you can see what I mean by that. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to... Hold on a second. So, here's a normal AI. Now you'll see what I mean by that in a second, where the particles sort of cause issues. So I've got that going on, I've got all this stuff going on over here, I've got to dash around him, but it makes it hard for me to even see where he is. Especially if I'm sort of pressing things at a long... at a fast speed, which makes it hard for me to keep track. And then if we're flying around in the air, the camera vertically changes, and sometimes it doesn't follow quite fast enough. And then just, there's stuff all over the place that it's really just sort of shows how much of an alpha it is, because there's a lot of really cool things going on, like the idea of having multiple attacks. The idea of having multiple attacks tied to different directions is really nice, but it doesn't feel quite as responsive as it could be, and the particles all over the place, and the speed at which everything moves compared to the camera, which kind of follows it a little bit slower than it should, means that unless you're, like, really advanced, or I don't even know if you can do this as a human, but it just makes it hard to keep track of things that are going on at the time. So, like, as soon as the game actually comes out, I'll have no problem recommending this to people, provide, like, some of the smaller things are fixed, the camera speeds up, the movement, it feels a bit more responsive, and, you know, of course, more stuff's added. But as is, I'd say it's definitely worth trying out just for fun. I kind of wish that it had some sort of a multiplayer mode just so you could pop it in with friends and just go at it, but I understand that's probably a bit more effort than they would have really put in for a demo, and an early demo at that. But yeah, that's Garrison Archangel. Like I said, link will be down in the description. Hopefully we can look forward to this on Steam soon enough, and I'll just let the credits run for the moment. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.